you're never done learning, ever. So like if you think you know everything, you're in the wrong room.
As soon as he came back, he was like, look what showed up on Facebook. And it was an ad for, I kid you not, Disney-inspired lingerie. He was like, I was like, this is getting weird.
I like to live my life, I don't know about you, like I'm at a 5-star resort, but at home. In as many ways as I possibly can. Like,
how do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have 1 account or 2?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are 2 agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guides as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go.
hey Kayla.
Hey Chelsea, welcome back to another episode of the Modern Agent Marketing Girls podcast. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. It is super sunny and like 68 here today, and I'm going to get outside after this.
Oh my gosh, I know. We were outside so much yesterday. I told Luke, my youngest, that he had to take a bath because he was so filthy from playing outside, and he was just like horrified. But I'm like, dude, it's because you had so much fun outside. Like, this is a good problem.
Oh, the bath battles. Henry loves taking a bath, but he never wants to. So like every single time we go to take a bath, he'll like just run naked through the house like as soon as I'm like get him ready to put in. And the other day, he actually started peeing in the hallway. Excellent. And I'm like doing the dishes. Mark was doing bath duty. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he runs and slips in it. And I'm just like, this is like boy mom life? I don't know.
Yes, 100% it is.
What are your plans for this weekend? Because I love recording when we're like close to the weekend.
Oh, I know. Gosh, I don't even know that I've thought about this weekend. We are like in hustle mode with school wrapping up. And my husband right now, like he's athletic director too, and so he's covering like all the baseball games, softball games, all of the things, and so he's just gone so much. So I have been looking forward to really doing nothing on the weekends, except for I have become a little bit of a grandma, and I've started like tending to my tulips out front. I planted tulips 2 years ago, and they are my whole personality right now. And my kids, every time we pull up in the driveway, I'm like, okay, everyone, stop and look at my tulips. And they're like, oh my gosh, like they're so annoyed. But I'm like, these are beautiful.
I love tulips. I wish they lasted for longer because it's so short-lived. But I've also been kind of into flowers. I always like want fresh flowers somewhere, but I hate when they get to the point where like they start to die and then it smells really bad, and I'm like, ugh, like why do I do this? Now I have to clean the vase and whatever. But having them out, I swear, like brightens your day. I actually got this really cute basket from Pink Antler Shop, and I put my vase inside of the basket so it looks like they're like in a basket. It's really cute. So those ones are dead. They're from
those are
weeks ago. So I need to clean that out. But I'm like, I need to get to the store and get new ones. And I actually was looking at Mother's Day gift ideas. And one of them was a flower delivery, like a flower subscription. So you get flowers delivered every week. So I emailed it to Mark. So we will see if I get that.
Have you ever heard of the thing that was going around? This was a couple years ago, where it was like, take advantage of all of the like all of the devices that hear what you're talking about and then give you ads towards those things because you want to walk by your husband's phone and be like, Sephora or like whatever it is you want, like Pink Antlers things, like whatever, and then have it like constantly showing up. Yeah, exactly.
Flower bracelet from this store, this link.
He'll be like, what the heck? Why is this stuff showing up on my phone?
It's seriously crazy. It happens. Like he booked our trip that we're going on to Arizona, and then my whole feed is ads for the hotel that he booked, and I'm like, it's so like spot on. It's like scary, it's kind of cool.
Oh, I know. I have a funny story about this. Several years ago, we were like getting ready for bed, and my husband had literally just said we should plan our next trip to Disney. And I was like, okay. And he got up and used the bathroom. None of us Googled anything. He said as soon as he came back, he was like, look what showed up on Facebook. And it was an ad for, I kid you not, Disney-inspired lingerie. He was like, I was like, this is getting weird.
That's probably crossing a line.
Oh, like, so funny.
Let's keep Disney. Like, let's not mix those two
like
things.
princess inspired. Oh, we laughed so hard about. We were like, oh my gosh,
so funny.
I know.
Do you watch Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Do you know the episode where Leonard? I forgot what it's for. Leonard puts on Penny's lingerie and it's like an orange, like not attractive looking thing, and he looks like a pumpkin and like he's dancing and it's the most cringy thing ever. I'm like, Mark, don't ever, like, no. I will never get it out of my brain. Don't ever do that, even if it's a joke. And that's like what I think of when I think of like Disney lingerie, like Cinderella's thing that turns into the pumpkin. Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect segue because today we're talking about lingerie and
we're going to talk about.
I know. How do you segue topic?
Well, actually, what are we talking about today? Let's just say it.
Okay, so you and I have had this discussion for a long time, and so we're kind of using this podcast episode as a chance to kind of hash these things out. But we were inspired by the Sales Girls, which is a great account. We totally recommend following them. They have what they call their Sales Girls standards. And it's like, 5 or 6 things that they say that they do every day without even thinking, because it like helps them always be prepared to take advantage of any opportunity to sell and to grow their business and all of those things.
I will say I love them. They're probably my favorite everything, like podcasts to follow, their advice. I've gone through their challenges before. They are like, I want to work less than them. I'll just put that out there. In fact, last night I shared my mom took Henry to the library and then she took him to Roots, and I just felt this pull at my heart. Like, I want to do that. Like, I'm so happy he's with my mom and he's with my mother-in-law right now. But like, sometimes I just wish I could be there more. And I do have a few days a week with Henry, obviously, but it's just like one of those things where you're like pulled in two directions, and like, they are very like work, business. And I'm like, okay, I want to work less, but better. So like, that's kind of maybe what we'll end up talking about with one of our standards, which I guess I would say that is, you define success.
Oh yeah.
You, like, everyone's version is going to look a little bit different. Like, maybe for you at this phase of life, for example, staying home part-time with your kids is successful to you and you don't need to sell as much real estate right now. Like, you're going to have seasons of give and take, and or you're going to outsource more, because that's going to allow you to spend the time you do have working or with your kids. Or maybe just you don't want to work 18 hours a day. I think sometimes this industry, any industry, not just real estate, you like get looked down on if you aren't working 24/7. Like, if you don't have that, like, and let me be clear, I don't like lazy. I don't like when people are like on their stories talking about how exhausted they are. Like, you can be exhausted. I wouldn't put it out there. But I feel like sometimes if you don't want to like sell 1 million houses, you're like not good enough. You're not a legit agent. And I think like I got into real estate way back in the day because I wanted to make I wanted to make it what I wanted it to be. And I wanted to be able to pay off my student loans, which I did. And like, I had certain goals with it, but I never wanted to be like, or needed to be the top producing agent who never has a life and who's available 24/7. That just wasn't me. Like, I love the industry, but I found my little niche in the marketing piece of it that I loved so much and felt like I could share this knowledge and that would serve people better than me continuing to sell real estate and doing this on the side. Like, I could never imagine doing both, or like, so I think coming up with your definition of success is like our first standard of being a modern agent.
Yeah, and I'll just emphasize too, like, a lot of the ideas, which we haven't even shared our ideas yet, so this will all be new to us too, but like, a lot of our ideas are kind of stemmed from the fact that everything built in Modern Agent is all about like building a business that supports your life and not the other way around. So like, that means however you want to live your life, we want you to have a business that supports that. So these things will look different for everybody, but I do think there are probably some broad things that we could talk about that will like be true for everyone, no matter where you're at in your business, no matter what your goals are in your business, all of those things. So
I do want to say too, like, what I teach in Modern Agent and what we like the standards we're about to talk about are the exact standards I personally follow to build Modern Agent and to live my life. So we are talking to our modern agents, obviously, but at the same time, like if you decide, and I'm just going off right now on a tangent, if you would decide like you don't want to sell real estate, like this could apply to you. It can apply to anyone. So maybe if you're listening, you're like, okay, this sounds amazing, but like I don't know if I want to sell real estate forever. Like that's okay. Like you don't have to sell real estate forever. There is no gold star at the end. In fact, there's nothing at the end when you decide to stop selling real estate. There's literally nothing. You don't get anything. So anyways, let's dive in.
Okay, do you want to go first?
I think like the number one thing that makes this all kind of connect, and you probably have this one, but is to romanticize your life and your marketing. So romanticize your business, romanticize your life, romanticize your marketing. So actually talking about the flowers, the tulips, the fresh flowers, like something as simple as that. Like I like to live my life, I don't know about you, like I'm at a 5-star resort, but at home. In as many ways as I possibly can. Like, and I think having that little angle with your business and how you think about things, like 5-star quality life, I think that pours into everything you're doing. And by doing these little mini micro things that romanticize things, that's what's going to happen. And I think sometimes we think it's fluffy or silly to be like, oh, let's romanticize everything. But it's actually super powerful. Like it's really powerful when you do it, because something as simple as, I don't know, lighting a candle while you're working and you have like, you're setting the ambiance, you're setting the tone. But I know like romanticizing can mean a bunch of things. Like what does it mean to you when you hear that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too, because I do think there's so many different examples. For myself, I know like I started with a toaster, okay? So we had this 2-slice toaster forever, which was great until we had 4 kids and they all like toast, okay? So like for some reason I went years with just using this little toaster, and finally I was like, this is dumb. I'm getting a 4-slice toaster. But I was like, I am not just getting a stainless steel run-of-the-mill toaster. Like I want to get a cute one that like actually like I want to feel legit joy when toast pops up in the morning, okay? And it seems so silly. And actually it wasn't even that expensive. I'm pretty sure I found it on like Amazon. If I can find the link for it, I'll share it. It's cute. But it's a yellow toaster and it legit brings me joy. And even my kids have been like, oh, I love this. And I'll even hear like my daughter's friends when they walk through our kitchen, they're like, oh, that's so cute. And I'm like, you know what? It is so cute. And how many people can say that about their toasters? So like, it seems silly, but also if something that little actually does bring you a little bit of joy, instead of maybe sometimes in the morning, maybe otherwise I would have felt maybe like in a rush or in a hurry to like get out the door and we got to go. Like, I think that is worth it. I think that's a wise investment.
I love the yellow toaster. I dated him very briefly in high school. He was actually younger than me. Anyways, his parents, we knew their family really well. My brother also dated his sister in 6th grade.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways,
the intermingling.
His mom had the cutest house and she had a yellow kitchen. And all the rooms in their house were painted like really bright colors, but like well done, like tastefully done. And I was obsessed with their house. And I would like go home, and we lived in this like Victorian kind of house. So I guess bright colors could have worked to some extent, but it fit their house really well. And I would go home and tell my mom like, why can't we have a yellow kitchen? And I'm like, I just love Chris's kitchen. So anyways, my point is like those little, like something as easy as color, like what you're wearing. And I feel like that's a different category I'm going to get into later. But like having these little teeny moments in your day that bring joy and that make things feel fun. Because obviously not every part of working is fun. There's tons of things I do that I'm not like, oh, I'm so excited to respond to these emails. Like, no, that doesn't happen. But when you just romanticize little things about your day, it just makes the day better and it makes your life better. And that's like going to work from a coffee shop in the morning instead of your home office or instead of your broker's office, like treating yourself to like a really yummy drink and like just working there. And maybe, they have like the good coffee shop jazz playing or whatever. And you just feel like it just feels different. And like forcing yourself to do that once in a while, I think really helps too, like the monotony of working from home, or even like, I know you're with clients, meeting clients, going to showings, inspections, all the things, but like the stopping at the coffee shop part is like, let's stop for a little bit and romanticize a part of our day.
Right.
And you're supporting local while you're doing it.
Yeah. I used to probably think it was more fluffy than what It really is. But that was basically before I started implementing it. And then once I started like actually saying like, you know what, like these are the things I'm going to do. I totally saw the benefits from it. So I think romanticizing life, I don't think it means you have to go spend a bunch of money or buy new things. I think it's just like pausing and like thinking about ways to make something just a little bit more pleasant, a little bit more beautiful, and create a little bit more of like a moment out of something. And it's great for your brand.
It's like everything Nancy Meyers does is romanticizing. So last night I bought this lamp, and Mark really doesn't like it because like where it is positioned with our couch, it kind of is like where the light is more in your eye than like an accent lamp, but there's really nowhere else to put it. And I just don't like having like the overhead kitchen lights on at night. It just looks like the opposite of cozy. It looks like stark, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, Mark, can you turn that bright light off? And he turns off my new lamp. And I was like, no, I want the ugly lights off. And I'm like, right. I'm like, you realize I'm trying to make my house a Nancy Meyers film at all times. And I said, do you think in a Nancy Meyers movie, they would have bright, ugly, undimmable lights on behind them while they're sitting on the couch and no lamps? Right. I'm like, no.
What would it be like? NMD. What would Nancy Meyers do?
Oh, like I swear, every place I've lived, which is 2 houses with Mark, and an apartment. But anyways, we're like open concept, and neither of the houses that had the this open concept built outlets into the floor. And my in-laws built their house and it's open concept, and they built outlets into the floor. I think it's code, but they didn't do it here, and they didn't do it in our last house. So you literally can't put a lamp by your couch unless I would like flip my couch around and put it against the wall, which would make no sense. So it's such a frustrating thing. I've never had good lighting in my living room because of that. So I need like some sconces or like, because I swear lighting makes the difference in everything.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Okay, I have another one for us. Okay. Moving your body. So I have some really interesting things to say about this. Years ago, first of all, I've never really loved working out. But I also came to a point in my life where I was like, and I'm going to say this broadly, so don't write letters. But I started looking at all of the women in business that I like respected and learned from, and all of them were in good shape. And I thought, you know what? That's not a coincidence. And it doesn't mean obviously that there are women who are not in great shape, whatever. I'm not in great shape, okay? But I just thought, they do that for a reason. Like that is on purpose. And so like I've been like prioritizing like my health again. But years ago I heard this podcast, and I'll link it in the show notes. I listened to the 1,000 Hour Outside podcast once in a while, and they had this whole episode that was literally all about walking, which sounds ridiculous. But there was a woman, her name was Annabelle, Abs Streets. And she wrote a book called 52 Ways to Walk, which again, what the heck? But she pointed out so many interesting things in there. So I'll just like name just a few of them just so that it doesn't turn into a science lesson. But first of all, sunshine in the morning. If you can get outside and take a walk in the morning in the sun, especially without sunglasses if you're able, the color of the light in the morning, there's a lot of blue in it, which raises your cortisol, which is, yes, it's stress, but it's also energy. And it also raises your serotonin levels. Which, isn't that a Legally Blonde quote?
And happy people just don't shoot their husbands.
So clearly, this is good advice to follow, okay? They say that walking's actually a very like complex skill, and they have not been able to create a robot who can walk like a human because there are so many little joints and movements and muscles that have to move just right for it to be like a seamless walk. So it's actually really good for your brain when you do it. When you walk with your dog, that actually can boost your mood, and it can enhance your microbiome. So like there's so many little things. They even said like if you walk after it rains, like all of the things that are coming out of plants and stuff during that time as you're breathing it in through your nose, like it's so good for you. And so even if you're a person, like if you wake up and you're like, or if you're listening to this and you're like, you don't understand, I am so busy. Like I've got so much going on right now. If you can take 15 minutes and just take a walk outside in the morning, you're going to, first of all, be in better shape, even if you don't see like crazy quick results. But you're doing so much good stuff for like your brain and your energy. You're going to be more present for your clients, for your family, all the things.
Have you heard about grounding, where you go outside and stand in the grass with your bare feet in the morning. And hopefully it would be sunny. And it's supposed to like, that has a bunch of health benefits too. I don't know any science on it currently in my brain, but there is. And I'll do that sometimes. It's hard in the Midwest too, right? Like we just went through 6 months of torture and it's finally, we're on the other side of it. And it's like, but then I think to myself, so my sister-in-law is really big on, she loves that podcast, 1,000 Hours.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? 1,000 Hours Outside. She tracks their outdoor time, and she's a full-time teacher. So in the summer, she can make up for a lot of it, but they will be outside. If it's even like, I mean, even if it's rainy, they'll get their rain boots on. They'll go splash in puddles. Like she has 3 little kids. They're 4, 3, and 2. So busy. And she will, which you know that life, she will go outside with them for hours and hours. And they have a really cool property that I was their agent when they bought, which I love. And they have like a cabin in the woods and like in addition to their house, and like they have a creek back there and it's so cool. But so I'm like, what am I going to do in my yard? Like,
yeah.
I don't even have trees in my yard because this house is built like newly. And like there are trees if you look back because there's like other properties back there. But like my yard has like, what do we do? Like they have so much they can do, like going through their woods and whatever. But it does feel so good to get outside. And I just told Mark that I want to do the 75 hard challenge.
Yeah.
We could both do it.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things is like you have to do one workout outside, which could just be a walk. But like think of how many days in Wisconsin you'd be like not today. But if you did it, you'd probably feel so much better. Like sometimes I'm feeling like super low energy or like whatever, and I'll just go outside and not even for very long, and I feel it's like a game changer. I feel so much better.
Yeah, they say it's so good for you even in like the winter when it's freezing cold. Like even if you're only out there for a little bit of time, like bundle up the baby, all those things, and get out there. Like it does make a big difference.
Someone also said like it's not about the weather. You have to dress for the weather.
Yes, 100%. And I also like too. So like I guess I only have like a couple hours a day where all my kids are in school and I've got time to myself and I've got a ton of work to do. And I just like to like hit the ground running, especially because I feel like I'm the most like creative in the morning and I want to get rolling. But when you do take that time, even if it's like a short amount of time, I think I used to pressure myself to think like, well, I got to go to the gym for 45 minutes and do all this stuff. But like, I actually listened to a Donald Miller podcast recently where he said like, he only works out for 15 minutes a day. And he said, I'm in the best shape of my life. And it's just because he made a habit of it. It's not because he did all this intensity. Yes. And I thought, okay, well, I can do 15 minutes or whatever that looks like. So it kind of making up your own schedule and going with that. But I have just found like, oh yeah, it makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel more confident. It gets my brain rolling. And like, I don't know, everything gets better after you work out a little bit.
I listened to a really good podcast. I'll send it to Adrienne to link in the show notes because I can't remember her name, but it was Skinny Confidential had on a guest and they were talking about like all these benefits to working out and exercising. And she said that people who even do like incremental workouts, like if you eat lunch and then you do air squats and you do a couple push-ups, like those people, their longevity goes up, their cardiovascular health improves, like all these health benefits from potentially less than 10 minutes a day, just to do a couple squats or a couple push-ups or jumping jacks like randomly throughout the day. Like you don't even need a 15-minute window. And like we are by no means a health podcast, but
don't take any of our advice.
Like this year I am on this like big health journey and I have felt better than I've ever felt. Like I think I've even forgotten how bad I did feel because like I've had like a couple days where I don't know, like I eat something off and then I'm like really not feeling good. I'm like, I think this is how I always felt. Like this is not fun. So it's a modern agent standard now.
Yeah, I think that it should be.
Get in the sun, go for a walk. What do I have next? This one's really kind of silly, but I feel so much better about my life when I make my bed. And I know there's like studies done on this and all the things. There's actually a book called Make Your Bed, Little Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World. And it's written by a former Navy SEAL. And obviously it talks about benefits of making your bed, but when I make my bed like the 5-star hotel, like I will like tuck the duvet underneath the mattress. I'll put my nice pillows up. I'll put like the cover blanket on top. It just makes me feel good. And I don't know, I know this is like basic 101, but it's like if I don't make it, it's almost like I feel like something isn't complete in my routine or something. And I love opening the blinds in my room, and like the room, like if I have to go in there for something, I'm just like, oh, it's so nice in here.
Right. Yes.
But I Googled like quotes from that book, and he said, the idea that making your bed in the morning sets you up for success. His theory is that just by making your bed, you've accomplished at least that one thing. So the simple act of tidying up your covers lets you begin your morning with a small success that the theory goes will encourage many more throughout the day. Yeah. Like you make your bed and now you're like, well, now it's time to go outside. Like how many healthy habits, how many positive habits can you stack on top of each other that make your day like the best day ever?
Yeah. And every agent's life is different, especially like first thing in the morning, depending on if you've got an inspection to go to, if you've got closings, all of those things. But if you can have some kind of routine in the morning where you can instill some of these things, I mean, think about it. Going and making your bed and then going outside for a 10-minute walk and coming back in. I mean, that's 15 minutes. Like everyone's got 15 minutes in the morning. So I think too, like trying to build that in as a routine and just do it without even thinking about it. It's like a domino effect, right? Like once one tips, like they all start going.
For sure. And I actually wrote this down and then I didn't say it at the beginning, but I looked up the definition of standard to like what is a standard? A level of quality or attainment, an idea or thing used as a measure, norm, or model, and user accepted as normal or average. So what I like about that word is like you're just making this it's your normal to do these things. And then everything else, like the domino effect kind of or snowballs from there, and you have other things that happen that are rooted in these really simple things. Another standard is like habit stacking. So if you go for a walk, listen to a podcast, listen to a business book, like do something for your brain. I also know it is nice to just have peace and hear the birds chirping and like take a break from all the stuff. But I have been thinking about like how can I do less screen time with like I'm on a screen constantly and it's terrible for you. And I'm like, what else could I do? So I actually had like signed up for this. It's Rachel Good Eats has like a strength training program, but you like print it. And I used to like hate that stuff. I used to hate having like, why would I want to print a workout program? Like I need to watch it. But I was like, that could be one thing that I'm not looking at a screen during. Like instead I just have my little like print out itinerary for my workout. So like little things like that. How can you have better intentions? Like when I shower, I'll listen to a podcast, or you let the dog out and you have, you can listen to a podcast. Like what else can you think of with like habit stacking?
Well, we recently talked about how it would be cool if we planned our meetings around our walks so we could like walk and talk at the same time instead of just sitting, because I feel like we do sit a lot during the day. So I think that's a really good one too. But it is funny, like even little things, like I've been laughing. My daughter started tumbling and it's about like 25 minutes away. And sometimes all the kids will come along, but a lot of times it's just her and I. And, I usually use the time when she's actually like in practice to like sit there and like work on things. But I have just loved like the one-on-one time with her. And so I feel like that's even not necessarily like habit stacking, but just like taking advantage of those little moments. Like, you know what? Like I could look at this as like, oh, my whole evening's going to be gone now because I'm taking my kid here. But it's like, okay, I'm going to ask her these questions. I'm going to talk to her about these things. Like, I mean, and she's a girl's girl. Okay. So she's got lots of questions about makeup and puberty and all the things. And we just hash it out like right there in the car. And so it's become like a really like precious time together. So I love the idea of just taking advantage of those little moments.
That's so sweet. And another thing that made me think of is like, I got a Kindle for this reason, because I read so much only because I'm reading in like 2-minute increments. Like if I have like 2 minutes and I'm like waiting for something or whatever, I'll like open my book and read it. But if I had like a regular book, it'd be a little bit harder to do that all the time, like where I have access and it's just like you open to the page you were on and it's easy. So like that's another little habit stacking tool.
I love it. Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
Prioritizing friendships.
Oh, I like that.
I think this one's really good. Now, I put a lot of things under this category, okay? So I put like book club or taking walks with your friends, text threads with your friends. Hopefully everyone's got a text thread with at least 2 friends. But my husband, being a football coach, he obviously like it is a lot of work and it is definitely a job, but it's also really fun. And I know I went through a time when like he would go on these like coaches clinics, retreats or things like that. And like he would come home and he would just talk about all the fun they had. And I'd be like, well, I was here taking care of your babies. And like, I just felt like I didn't have something for myself. And it wasn't even fair, because the moment I would have said like, hey, my friends and I are going here, he would have said, okay. But I didn't prioritize my friendships during that time. And again, to be fair, a lot of my friends and I were all kind of in the same season where it was just hard to get away. But I think when I started like actually saying, you know what, like I am going to go meet my friend for dinner and you're taking care of bedtime tonight, like even doing that every other month, like filled my cup and made me feel like myself again after motherhood and all of that. And I think this can be true even if you're not a mom, like even just being a busy agent or trying to get a business off the ground. That takes up so much headspace and so much like mental calories. And I think if you can like stop and like get with people who either have known you for a long time that you don't have to explain yourself to, or find some new friends in town. If you're like, hey, I'd like to start a little book club, let's get together, even if it's every other month. Like, I just think there's so much power in like women coming together just for the sake of like drinking a glass of wine and catching up, you know?
In peace. Yeah. It's so important. And sometimes it's hard because I'm a homebody and sometimes I'm exhausted and I'm like, I don't want to leave. Like, I have days where I'm like, I don't really want to go to book club, but like every time I do, I'm like re-energized from it. Like, I'm like, that was so fun. And even like, I love wine and I really have barely had any anymore. And I feel like it's almost like more fun, like to get together. Like I'll go to book club and I was like, when I first started this whole health thing, I was like, I can't imagine going to book club and not having wine with my friends. And then I like did, and I'm like, I laughed so hard. Like it literally doesn't matter. You're still with your friends having such a good time. My cousin lives in Iowa and I don't see her enough, like a couple times a year, but she messaged me the other day and she said, hey, do you want to do a Zoom call and just like have a glass of wine and chat on Zoom? And I was like, yeah, that sounds so fun. And we did it like years ago during COVID, but I'm like, we should do this regularly because we're not close. We don't see each other. And our dream is to write a book together, a fiction book together. Yes. So we were talking about our book idea, which isn't really in the cards right now, but it's someday.
But you don't have time to write a book? I don't understand.
Not that kind of book. But I'm like, our idea is so exciting.
I want to hear all about this. That's so fun.
I will tell you.
Yeah, you have to save the plot for when it's released.
Well, we wanted to take place on the East Coast, and we kind of picked Maine. So then we're like, well, we have to go there now to obviously like, you know, see the lifestyle.
Right.
So that's our next step.
You should probably buy a summer house there so you can like get immersed in the culture and
like Happy Place, Emily Henry.
Yes, I think that's just a wise investment.
Agreed.
If you look hard enough, you can just about make anything a tax write-off. I'm convinced.
That should maybe be a standard.
Right. If I made that a podcast episode, though, I'm pretty sure I'd get audited. So I will.
Yeah, we're gonna save that. Adrian, cut this.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Do you have another one?
My next one, it's kind of like in the same realm as the making your bed, but getting ready. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, if I feel off at all and I go take a shower and get myself ready, I feel so much different and so much better. Like if I have a cute outfit on or my hair is like freshly washed or even like just styled and I'm not just putting it in a ponytail. Like if I'm ready for the day or I bought these Jennifer Fisher hoop earrings and I like am loving them and I haven't worn hoop earrings in years, but it just like something about putting the earrings in makes me feel like I'm more ready, even if I'm wearing a sweatshirt, like a more casual shirt. But I just feel like when I get ready, what it does is it forces me to do other things that if I wasn't ready, I wouldn't do, like record the reel, or I would record a little bonus training for my members. Or the other day I was ready after another call and I recorded a video to put into our email funnel. So people who are getting emails from us will like on email 7, get this video where I teach them this really cool thing. So, it will just help you do other things, or it might make you like go outside and say hi to your neighbor. It might make you be like, yeah, I'm going to go to the coffee shop now because I am ready. You know, like little things like that. You just feel like you feel ready for the day.
Yeah. I went through this whole time in my life where I felt the same way. I felt like I was always like, ironically, in what I'm wearing now, which is like yoga pants and a t-shirt. But I remember thinking like, I want to dress nicer. Like I had a girl that I worked with. She always dressed so cute. And I was always like, oh, I wish I could wear that. But I remember her telling me like, you realize I just put on a dress today and you put on pants and a t-shirt. Like, you actually took more effort putting on what you were wearing, and you don't even like it. And I just threw on a dress real quick with some sandals, and I'm good to, and I was like, oh yeah, like, it actually is easier. So that's when I started like my summer dress love, which I do have a few that I absolutely love. But what would you say to someone who feels like, I don't even know what to wear to make me feel good, or like, I don't even have clothes that I love, like, I don't even know where to shop? Like, how do you respond if your friend says something like that?
I feel like it starts kind of with, like, when is the last time you wore something where you did like what you were wearing? Like, where you're like, I felt really good in that. I mean, one thing to me is being comfortable. So like, getting ready for the day doesn't mean wearing pants that don't move. Like, I refuse to wear jeans that don't stretch, because I don't care about anything if I have to sit in jeans that make me like, it like almost makes my stomach hurt.
Right.
Like, that are have no movement. So like, you need to be comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're going to be more confident in what you're wearing. And I am not a fashion person to be giving this advice, but like, that's one huge thing to me. Like, I had jeans on this morning with this, and I'm like, well, I'm going to sit down and record podcast episodes. I'm putting my leggings on.
Yeah.
To sit down here. But another thing is like, look for like I love rompers. I love sets. Like, Google or like search sets on like Revolve, and like a bazillion sets will come up. I love sets because it's like an instantly put together look without you needing to do anything. But I think color is a huge one. I would love to, with both of us, get our colors done and make it like a whole thing, and like bring that more into maybe what we wear in the podcast. And like, I have a good guess of what my colors are, but I still think it'd be cool if someone did it and was like you might get something you didn't even think about, you know?
Yeah.
But I think doing something like that could be a great way to feel like better. Like, maybe, for example, you always wear black. Like, I love black, like every shade of it. But maybe you would look amazing in like yellow, and you don't even know, because you just instantly grab the neutral, and it might make you feel better. It might make you feel like more cheery and happy, and like, back to my yellow kitchen. Like, it is like such a happy color. But you might not even know that because you don't try it. So I would like try something different, buy something unexpected. Paige DeSorbo, who is like, I feel like she's my alter ego. Is that the right word? Just things that she says. Like, she's like, if my outfit is good, I'm going to have a good day. And like, that's literally how I feel. But she says that when she gets dressed, she imagines herself as like, who do I want to be today? Like, what character do I want to be? And I always used to think, this is how I thought of it, so you could think of it in your own way. When I would get dressed, I would think, what if someone was writing about my outfit in a book? Like, you know how the author will describe what someone's wearing? Like, how would this sound? Like, does this sound like something I want to wear? And that was like my thing. So then when I heard Paige say that, I was like, ooh, I love that. Like, what character am I going to be today?
Yeah.
So you just have fun with it. Like, don't like throw out the stuff that makes you feel blah and boring and whatever, you know, and do something different. Like live outside the lines with your wardrobe.
Well, and I think agents too, like, they want to still be professional, but they want to feel like themselves. And sometimes it's hard to kind of find that happy medium of like, how dressed up do I get? And I like the joke of like how I dress to a, you know, client consult versus how I dress to the inspection first. I mean, there's always like, there's those elements too, right? But yeah, I think a lot of it too. I mean, even spending some time on like Pinterest, or if you find like some like vloggers and stuff on Instagram that you just like their style, like save their stuff. And sometimes I literally have done this before, where I have gone to a store and been like, okay, I need like these kind of jeans, or I need even like a basic like tank top or whatever, but like, that's what I need to make outfits that look more like this. Because sometimes I'll just gravitate towards like, I just really like this shirt, or I really like that color, but then I don't think about like, I don't have anything to go with it, or like, how would I actually wear this, whatever. I feel like this could be a whole other topic, but I feel like it's important too, because it is another time that it's like how we're showing up, how we're feeling confident, how we're presenting ourselves. It's part of our brand, all of those things. So like, if we can just be like mindful of getting ready. And again, it doesn't mean like dressing up every day. It just means like feeling good about yourself.
I really love Natalie Borton, Borton, and she has a Substack now that's a subscription, but she'll do like, her whole thing is building I guess it would be a sustainable wardrobe. Like, don't buy just a bunch of pieces so that you have clothing, but like kind of capsule wardrobe style. But like, what are the like pieces you're going to use over and over, and you can wear a million different ways? And like, she must spend an insane amount of money on clothes despite saying all this, because of the things she shares. I'm just like, like I see dollar signs. But if you look at her, she has a very cohesive style. And like that's something that I actually struggle with, where I'm like, I like so many different things. And that's why I think having like your colors done would be so cool, because you could kind of refine what you buy. Or like maybe I love this shirt, but it only comes in blue. And I'm like, well, I never want to wear blue, so I'm not going to buy that shirt then. I think like things like that, like where I want to be more mindful of like what I'm buying and not just buying like the fun things. I remember I went to my cousin's wedding and I got this outfit inspo from Mallory Irvin, but she had worn this like sequin caftan thing. And I'm like, I need to wear that to Summer's wedding. And I was a little like, I don't know if, like, I feel like it's kind of a bold choice. And I've never had more compliments in my life.
Yes.
On like what I was wearing, but I was a little nervous. Like, this is a little outside my lines, but it made me just feel kind of like, it made me feel put together. It made me feel like kind of fancy, and I just loved it. And now that's like one of my favorite like looks I've ever had.
Yeah. And outfits like that like command attention and respect. Like people just assume you're an important person just because you walk in a room confidently with something like that. I've got like a pair of sparkle boots that I wear in the winter that I feel the same way in. Sometimes I feel like, is this a little too flashy or a little too much? But you know what? I love them and I get a lot of compliments on them too. So I wear them anyway.
What is the quote? You can never be too overdressed or too overeducated. Is that what it is?
Rather be overdressed too than like underdressed. So
your turn.
Okay. This is like kind of all encompassing. I tried to figure out a way to summarize this. It was like tend to something or create something. So hear me out. Okay. Tending to plants like your tulips. Your sourdough starter, your garden, like creating a healthy meal. I think all of those things, it produces like so much satisfaction. And here's another thing where I got a little sciencey. I looked up like all of the like health and wellness benefits for women who care for indoor plants. Mostly because I'm trying to justify that I'm buying more and more indoor plants all the time. But caring for plants can lower stress hormone levels, heart rate, and blood pressure. They can increase feelings of well-being, decrease depression and anxiety, improve focus and attention, improve air quality in your home, and help you sleep better. Frankly, I think plants should be a part of every modern agent's home and closing gift style or like routine, because there's so much benefits to them. And it's so funny, like, I used to always joke, like, oh, I always have to have fake plants because I can't keep anything alive. But, like, really, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of, like, keeping the soil damp. And that's it. That's all you have to do.
Well, let me tell you about my plants. The one time I bought a plant, and I love them. I think they look beautiful. They're so much prettier than a fake one, like my fake olive tree. Right. I have multiple of these. I went to, like, I felt like I watered it. It was, like, damp. And all of a sudden, one day, it's growing mushrooms. Did I tell you this?
No, that'll happen sometimes, though.
So I took it in the garage, and that was the last of my plant journey. So I think I should try again.
That has happened to me before, and I don't honestly know a whole lot about it. I've just picked them, and then they didn't grow back. But I have I should post a picture of it on the YouTube channel. But I have a fiddle leaf plant that I got at Costco in 2020, and the thing is so huge now. In fact, like, I get excited because my friends would be like, Kayla, your plant. And I'm like, I know. Like, I should name her at this point because I like tend to her all the time.
You need to take a photo of this plant and put it in your stories.
It's gotten very big. And what's really funny, I actually want to do like a whole like series on this at some point in time because it is like growing lopsided, but it grows like all plants do. They grow towards the sun. Like they're always looking for like that source of light, which is what I think is a great analogy for like having a magnetic brand. Like if you have a brand people want, people are naturally going to gravitate towards you. They're not going to be able to help it. So there's your science lesson for the day.
Well, you know what else that makes
me
think
proud
of
my plant.
What else I think of when you talk about tending to a garden or tending to your sourdough starter is like tending to your brand. And this could be a whole episode too, where we talk about this, but it's all through these little micro things. If it's not like there's this, I think, including us, like there's not just this like one magical answer that's all of a sudden gonna like shine down with a light on it. Here's how you're gonna blow up your business. Here's how you're gonna get the best clients. Here's how you're never gonna have to worry about things again. Here's another standard. You're never done learning, ever. So like if you think you know everything, you're in the wrong room. And if you think you know, like I'm done with this, maybe it's time to do something else. Like because I think one of the things I enjoy the most about having my own business is like the never ending learning. And yes, sometimes it can be stressful. Sometimes it can feel like overwhelming. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could just be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to deal with this. But like at the same time, there's so much joy in the constant learning and the opportunities we have to tend to our brands, to tend to our business and grow them in whatever way that we choose. Actually, I saw this quote today, which I'm going to read right now. I wasn't planning on this, but in my town, Homebody Boutique, which I've probably talked about on this podcast, she shared this and said like the conversations I could have about this. She said, building a business, people often see the wins, the growth, but they rarely see what it really takes to build behind the scenes. It's not just about strategy, it's about stamina. It's not just big moves, it's the tiny unseen ones that stack over time. They don't see the late nights solving things no one claps for, the self-doubt you push through while still showing up, the pivots, the patience, the pressure, and yes, it's worth it to build something from nothing, to back yourself fully even when the results take their time. But it's not always shiny, it's not always loud. Most days the real work is quiet. So if you're in that season where it's hard, but you're still showing up, you're not behind. You're laying the foundation for something that lasts. Here's to the business owners doing the work no one sees and becoming the one everyone remembers. I have chills.
I know. I was just going to say that. That's so
I already
good.
read it. It's like, that is the most true, like every word of that is in my soul, you know, like it's so cool. And that's what we're talking about today. All these standards are really tiny things that add up, and that like no one's gonna like clap for you for making your bed. Right. No one's gonna be like, good job on walking today. Good job on, tending to your tulips. But like doing all these little things make you just, I think what the word would be is like more resilient, like a stronger person, more ready and prepared to handle business, to handle hard discussions, to handle when business is slow. Like you think of all the things, like having a business sounds great until you have to do something hard, until something isn't going the way you wanted it to, until you lost a lot of money on something or whatever. A lot of the things that are going to make you win are unseen moments.
It's kind of like, I just read about this the other day, like the butterfly effect, and how they say like a butterfly flapping its wings on like one side of the country can actually like cause a tornado to turn direction in another side of the country.
Are you serious?
Well, that's what they say. That's what the scientists say. Because, and the whole idea is like really small, seemingly insignificant movements can create like dramatically different outcomes. And so no one thinks about like the small insignificant things that we do every day, right? Like making our bed, going for a walk. Like we're not doing, a 55-minute workout where we're like shredding all these whatever. I don't even know what the terms are, okay? But like we're not doing those things, but like we're doing these small things consistently. And like at some point in time, we're going to look back and think, I'm so glad I was doing all of those things all this time, because look where I am now, and it's going to feel like dramatically different. So hang in there with the little things.
I love the butterfly effect. That's so cool.
I know.
I think one that we haven't talked about, which I'm shocked, is local.
I was going to say that next.
So I would almost categorize this like twofold, like, or it could actually be two separate ones, but building a community, but also being part of your local community. I would say like those are two different, yet you could classify it as one category and call it community.
Yeah. And, we get some pushback sometimes with local, because we'll have agents say like, I just stay home a lot. Like I don't go to a lot of things. Like, we're kind of busy with this stuff, whatever. Our response to that every time is, you're a local business owner. And when you're a local business owner, you don't have a choice. Like you have to be involved. It doesn't mean you have to go to every single local event. It doesn't mean you can't ever skip out and stay home. But like part of your job is to be involved in your community, to be a face in your community, to be recognized when you're out and about. And like that starts with getting involved in your community. And it can be as simple, like this is so simple. It's not always about going out and like buying things from local shops, but like documenting your local commute to the office, like, and just posting that is supporting local. Like that is sharing like your love for your community. That's drawing attention to your community, that, all of that, like that's so powerful. And people think like, oh, my town's not cute. Well, some cute music to it, and it'll look a lot cuter than what you thought that it did, you know?
Yeah, and I think, like, I would say, like, a standard would be, like, modern Asians love where they live.
Yes.
And even if it's not the most, like, I mean, oh my gosh, we are right now in the Midwest. It was not cute for the last several months, but you make the most of it. Or it's like trying to attend, like, even if you pick one thing a month, like a local event to go to, like, and maybe it's not your exact little town. Maybe it's like the largest city near you. Like for me, it could be Milwaukee or Madison. And you're going to like a farmer's market, or you're going to like ladies' night out. Like our town will do a lot of those with like the little shops. Or it could be asking a neighbor to go do a pottery class. I haven't done that. But anything, like just little things. Try to commit to one thing a month that you're out and about and part of your community. And if you look, like there is probably something that fits you. And like you said, Kayla, it's not just about like buying stuff and spending money. It's just about like showing up there. Like you should be like you should be seen out and about in your community. I always think of the book, The 7 Levels of Communication, which just is like a very specific strategy. But this guy who wrote the book picked a local spot that he was going to go to, like for every meeting, for every client interaction, everything, which Roots kind of ended up being that for me a little unintentionally. But where people then recognized him. They're like the servers there recognized him. The other local regulars recognized him. And then when he would meet a client there, like the server would be like, hey, what can I get you, John? Like, it was like, oh my gosh, like he's well known in this community. Like you can be very intentional about it too, to that extent, and have like your go-to spot that you really support. And that's like what you're known for. Like you can go that angle, or you can go the angle of just like, maybe you volunteer at a beer garden or at a chili cook-off thing, or, I don't know, like you can just make yourself think of like what your kids are part of. How can you be part of that? Like if your kid's on the baseball team, maybe you organize an event for the team, or you host an event for the team at your house. Like it doesn't always have to be shopping related, or even going out to eat. It can be so many other things in your community. And I've even given this prompt, I think it was in a training with our members, but I said like put in ChatGPT, like I forgot what it was. Like, how should I spend my weekend in this city? And it like gave me a bunch of stuff. And like some stuff was like, go to the art fair. I'm like, I'm not an art fair person like that. So you don't use that, but that can kind of help you just get the ball rolling of ideas of like, that could be a fun thing to try, or starting a book club. Like that's kind of like the building community side of it, but it could be with local friends. Like maybe you ask your neighbors, hey, you want to start a book club? And you could do the lazy girl style where you don't even pick a book. You just get together once a month or every other month, and you talk about the books you did read, and you have something good to drink and a couple snacks, and like you build community that way.
Yeah. I think all of this summarized is like basically modern agents don't make excuses. They show up intentionally for themselves, for their brand, for their family, for their goals, all those things. And they like make it happen for themselves. They don't play victim to the market. They don't play victim to I'm new, or I, have this other job too, or whatever. Like, are you going to choose to make this happen or not? And the choice is only yours. And so hopefully these standards will inspire you to, even if you only implement a couple of them into your daily routine, into your daily life, hopefully they inspire you to be the agent that you actually want to be, and be the mom you want to be, the friend you want to be, the wife, all of those things.
And I know a lot of what we talked about are more of like the lifestyle pieces to this, not so much like the marketing side. So we could do like, I think our where we stand with the marketing part of it. But I would say like the final standard would be you market like a modern agent. Like you're not afraid of trying something new. You're not afraid of putting your face on your Instagram stories. You're not afraid of trying new things and like, sharing things on Instagram, or behind the scenes of your life, or behind the scenes of your real estate business. Like that's a big part of this that we didn't even get into, but the whole podcast is about that. So I guess this one could be like, listen to the podcast every Tuesday and you'll get that served to you over and over and over again.
Absolutely. We say all of these things because we love you guys. We love our listeners. We've been getting so many messages, and it's so fun to hear. Actually, I got 2 more last night that I haven't even shared with you yet, Chelsea.
Where are these coming?
They're so good.
Either on our Instagram account?
Yeah, both our Instagram accounts, and then my personal account too. or like just the responses and stuff that we get, they're just so good. So again, we're saying all this because we love you guys and we want you guys to be successful. And so again, if you guys have any like requests for different topics, or you want to hear more on something, or want us to deep dive on something, we want to hear it because we want to make this podcast for you. So you can always DM us on Instagram at Modern Agent Social Club or Modern Agent Marketing Girls, and we'll get back with you and write your idea down.
Yes, I would love to hear ideas if you guys have them. We have lots of them, but you're the ones that we're doing this for. So tell us what you want to hear, especially for like summer. What do you want to hear in the summer? I know summer's busy and people are a little more checked out from businessy stuff, but if we can like stick to just a few simple things and like keep the wheels spinning despite the best season of the year. Actually, I love fall too. I don't know.
Summer's the best.
Yeah, summer's amazing. Girl. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Well, this was so fun. I hope that this was at least just like a little cup of motivation, if anything.
Yes. A hug from a friend.
Yeah.
I needed a hug, but I got Modern Agent Standards instead.
Yes. The trend.
Yes. There you go. Instagram. Very cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.